WWE fans are mad as all hell because Bryan Danielson looks like he is staying, yes, staying with All Elite Wrestling. So, in an interview with the Rich Eisen show, Tony Khan said the following quote, I can't say how much time Bryan has left in the ring, but he has said this will be his final year, and this is going to be the year Bryan hangs it up full time wrestling. At that point, it's going to be a sad day for pro wrestling for me personally. But it's great to be able to have Bryan and I can call and talk to and have in the locker room with us every week. Tony Khan also says that I hope Bryan will stay with us for the rest of his life. I know he's planning to stay with us for a long time going forward as part of the company. I would want Bryan to stay with us as long as humanly possible. Tony Khan obviously has shown a lot of respect towards Bryan Danielson over the years, saying that if anything ever happened to him, he told Shad Khan, his father, that Bryan Danielson should be the one running the company. So a lot of respect from him. Obviously, there's a lot of respect from Bryan all across the industry. Arguably, or inarguably, one of the most beloved wrestlers, both by his peers and by the fans. Kenny Baum, what do you have to say about this? There's talk about Bryan's contract being up in September, but it looks like he's in some capacity staying with All Elite Wrestling.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, that's what I don't care about, because Bryan Danielson's biggest moment in AEW was when he debuted. Everything after that has pretty much been downhill. I mean, I was a huge Bryan Danielson guy in WWE, but to be honest with you, I think he has, well, no, because his match with Kenny Omega, I'm not going to lie, it was really good. But after that, it's really just been downside. I mean, I don't know about y'all or how y'all feel about it, but for me, I just feel like he hasn't been hitting. Maybe his position and the things he is doing backstage is really benefiting the company, but as far as in ring, I think he might just be too broke down. When he's in there wrestling, you got to kind of worry about, is he going to get injured? Is he going to get another concussion? I think he's been great, in his run in WWE, but again, it's just time for the man to hang it up. So I'm glad he's not one of those wrestlers who stays around longer than he actually needs to, because it's time for the man to go. Brian, do you think he beat Swerve Strickland? Should he retire? What do you think?
So, all right, man, he's definitely retiring. And just to mention, the reason why that man is not going to WWE is because he would physically not be allowed to wrestle in WWE with the condition his body is in. This is only something that AEW is going to let him do. I'm just going to keep it a buck. Every time, bro, this man is something's wrong. I respect Bryan Danielson. I love Bryan Danielson. Me and him, we share the same name, and it's spelled the same way. But the only thing with this is, man, I do want to see him win the belt. I think he needs to win the belt at least one time before he retires. And I think the one time is against Swerve. You go on ahead, hold that. Maybe you put Hangman Page over, then Hangman Page holds the belt. Then we go into the sunset with that. There's a lot that can happen within these next couple of months. And honestly, I don't really care that he didn't sign with WWE. There's not much that at this point in his career that Bryan Danielson is going to offer in the ring, especially with retirement coming up. So that's just my 2 cents when it comes to that. So, I mean, right now it's cool. Stay in AEW. I think he's really happy in AEW. He's a really big presence back there, and I think he's very well respected. So right now I think that's the best place for him. And if he wants to continue wrestling, that is definitely the best place for him.
I agree 100%. I think, look, Bryan Danielson has already been kind of getting his hands on the backstage roles, doing this, doing a bit of that. So I feel like he's already setting himself up, all the connections and everything, to transition into that role. And to be honest with you, when I look at Bryan Danielson and his career, especially in his early days, like Ring of Honor days, he strikes me as one of these guys like Terry Funk, where I will fight until I die, kind of Ric Flair type. He loves wrestling so much that, he says, I'm messed up, I should retire. I know, like, I definitely must retire, but I think he's still going to find a way, to get into that ring. That's honestly how I feel. Hopefully he doesn't, though, because I don't want this man to get, seriously hurt or get hurt in a way where he cannot come back from it. And because like you guys said, we all love Bryan Danielson, man. Like, I am seriously I have nothing but respect for the guy because he killed it in the indies, like in terms of just pure wrestling. And then he went into the WWE, adapted to the wrestling entertainment, sports entertainment shtick, excelled at that, became the world champion, main event of WrestleMania 2 times, I believe. You know, so like there is literally nothing but respect for Bryan Danielson. And in his later stages of his career, I was getting bummed out because when he first came into AEW, the heel work, especially he was doing with the jumping jacks, oh my God, 20 out of 10. I loved it. And then he's been kind of not directionless. He's been doing this and that, but like I want Bryan Danielson to be the world beater. Like I want him going for that world heavyweight championship. Yeah, he was just doing, you know, going to I don't remember the English word for it. I only remember bodega for some reason. Like just going to the shop, you know, doing this side quests. Like here, what's his face? The dragon. He was battling with the dragon. He's a cool dude, but that's like a side match. I want Bryan Danielson at the main event for the main championship, and he has to win it. Here's the thing. I'll give you one reason why he needs to win it, and I'll shut up. Here's the thing. 10 years later, when you look at AEW, you got to be able to say Bryan Danielson held the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Just to be able to say that. Just to add to the prestige of that title. Even if he holds it for a week, which would be kind of ridiculous, you need to give that title to Bryan Danielson. Just because, like, I can say the same thing for Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, any big giant name you have in your company, unless it's Sting, where, you know, he's obviously past his prime, he's old, so it would look ridiculous. Unless there's a situation like that, you got to give the championship to them. Just so you can say, oh man, yeah. Don't remind me. So I am hoping that it'll be a smooth transition for Bryan Danielson. He'll have his one, you know, couple of his last big moments, and then he'll, you know, still contribute a lot. Like I would love if 10, 20 years from now, if Bryan Danielson became a figure like, you know, Dusty Rhodes, where we see him just influence so many careers, so many people. That'd be cool. So honestly, I'm not surprised either. And Bryan, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said if he goes back to WWE, what does he do? We'll have some, you know, dream scenarios, couple of dream matches, sure, but like anything we wanted to see, like the first thing that comes to my mind is AJ Styles and Bryan Danielson. What a sick match, but we've seen that already. I would like to actually see that in AEW or in like New Japan, where they can go, not in WWE. But yeah, kind of makes me feel happy. I'm good with this whole situation.
I think if he goes back to WWE, the only thing you can really do there is put him in the Hall of Fame. I think that's the only reason for him to go back to WWE. Him or guys like Chris Jericho, because I mean, at this point for Bryan, it's over.
Oh,
this is the last time you'll see me on this show ever. I'm never driving another video. I'm never coming on the channel. Y'all better hit that like button, subscribe, kiss that ring. Go over to youtube.com/WrestleVibes for the truth about Bryan Danielson and AEW. This is blasphemy going on this channel. Oh my goodness.
Boy,
look at that man. That's a handsome man. That's my goat right there. That's my goat.
Bryan?
He's all four on my Mount Rushmore.
Wow, you're so nice to Bryan, man. Well, yeah, he's a goat. Absolute goat.